Oh, I'm from right here in Philly. I mean, I was born here. I was raised here. Yeah, I'm good. I've been here. I've been here. I've been here for my life, and I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous.
Sometimes I like to stay to myself, and I don't really like to party that much. I guess you could say I'm a square. At least most people would consider me a square.
It's not something that I think I can call upon. It's something that is kind of granted to me through a lot of rest and um, a heart that's at peace, you know.
I thought I would become like a regular child and just have a regular life. But then as I grew, stuff just started to change.
I've been outside of time. I've been as far back as before there was a such thing as time. When you learn how to get outside of the confines of our everyday time, you can sort of go anywhere, and it doesn't have to just be limited to time on Earth and time back in history or forward in history. You can also do time in parallel dimensions and experience different modes of time.
My gift sometimes, it wakes me up in the middle of the night. You know, I see black and white spots sometimes, and I can read people's minds all the time. So I don't like being around too many people unless I feel that God is really bringing me towards them to help change their life, because this is what I do.
I want to say I was either 1 or 2, something like that. And yeah, I just started doing magic.
I think about time all the time. Like literally every moment of my day is consumed with thoughts about time and how to manipulate it and how to traverse it and rise above it or get beneath it or inside of it. Before I grew up and came into my time travel knowledge, I didn't really realize that I was time traveling back when I was 2.
I was placed in a circumstance where those gifts were negated, where I didn't really have people affirming them or help me strengthen them. So although I had knowledge of it pretty early on, I denied it for a long time.
But my people are deaf people. They talk with their hands a lot. We all talk with our hands a lot, and I had to sit on them a lot because I used to use them instead of my mouth. And there wasn't a lot of people that spoke with their hands, and so that was hard sometimes because they spoke to each other and they got around and stuff, but that didn't, it was harder. It was harder than now. I see a lot more people now than I did before. I mean, people that speak with their hands.
One day I just woke up and I just started seeing stuff in my mind and just different things happening and stuff. Then the next day it kept on going on and on and on. And then I went to the doctors to go get something, like my mind checked out. And then after that, it just popped out. I was a psychic.
Okay, my mama had this black cat, Ebony. And Ebony never came into any of our rooms. She never really liked me. But right before she died, I felt like she was about to die. She came in my room, she looked at me, and we exchanged energy. And she said she was sorry, and I understood. And then she passed on away when she left my room. I said, wow, okay. I knew she was dying. Or when certain people are about to die, Mother Nature gives me that premonition to go and minister to them, and so I just accepted. So I think I maybe have been 5 as far as I can remember.
I don't think I recognized my gift and my potential until I was taking care of myself, when I didn't have the hands of ones to help me, and that was at a young age of 16. I never went without shelter for too long. I've never missed a meal. I never have been turned down for a drink of water or anything of that nature. It's all been extended to me. The universe seemed to take care of the things that I wasn't able to provide for myself. And I believe a lot of time people distract themselves with worry and worry about being short and not being able to have what they need, instead of kind of trusting that the universe will provide.
Sometimes if I tell people that I'm really a sidekick, they would think I'm like crazy or something. But sometimes I don't tell them because I get embarrassed when stuff like that happens.
Because you can't really control your powers when you're that young. You just feel, God gives you these feelings and you just go with it. You don't know how to express it all the time. So if the teacher came in drinking or smoking or something like that, I would report her. You can't hide it from me with mouthwash. I know. My uncle does the same thing, And then her mind would start going, didn't remember words to write on a board. So I would read this to her. I would read this to her and then they wouldn't believe me, but I would tell them this is what it is, and then, we find the bottle in her drawer. Miss Thomas, hello.
It was difficult being a teenager. I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders and I couldn't quite figure out why. I knew I had I felt like I was special or different or like I had some abilities, but I didn't really know how to bring them out. But, I remember always writing and always being interested in science fiction and always wanting to write. And I would write these stories, these sci-fi stories, and the stories, believe it or not, a lot of people don't believe this, but the stories would come true. In very subtle ways. I would write these like long epic tales about these teenagers. Like I wrote this one about this girl who got pregnant at 14 and just, she came from a background not quite unlike my own. And I swear, less than a year later, I ended up pregnant. I was 14. And I gave birth to her at 14 and then turned 15 shortly after. It was hard. It wasn't an easy feat. I had support, some support from my family and from caring adults, but it was difficult, having to go to school and having to work and also having to care for a child. But I was very resolved. It took me, there was a turning point for me because when I first had her, I was very depressed for a long time. I didn't want her. I didn't know what to do with her. I felt like I had let my family down, let myself down. I felt like I would end up like my mother, having to work 3 jobs and having more children and, just really struggling to make ends meet. And I felt sorry, I felt sorry for bringing my daughter into those circumstances. But, I had a turning point and I snapped out of it and I said, you know what, I need to take responsibility. It's not her fault that she's here and she needs to have an opportunity to do better than what I did. And it was up to me to still break that cycle. And I did, so I ended up going to college and going to law school and graduating from law school and, and doing my thing. And now my daughter's 14, so it has all come full circle. We don't anticipate her getting pregnant anytime soon. And, it's really amazing to have witnessed, an actual shift in my family's cycle.
I was young and I wanted the message to get out, and I was in school and, my teachers, I learned quick that they didn't want me to get the message out there, so, but if I could in the hallways, I would try, because it was just in me, and I would try it out. One day, it was these guys, they always stood down at the end of the hallway and they was always joking around and stuff, but I thought they were serious this time. So anyway, one of them, he comes up to me and he just tells me that they want to hear the message. So at first I was like, nah, because I know they always had jokes, But he just kept saying, I'm serious. And I was like, okay, well, you want to hear the message, I got you. So I went down the end of the hall with them and, it was darker hallway down there, and nobody really went down there. They used to have the metal shops down there, and we didn't have that no more. So they would always tell us to get out, from down the hallways, But they said, if you want to tell us the message, you gotta come down the hallway. And I was like, I gotta get the message out, I gotta tell them the message. And so I went and I tried to tell them the message, He didn't want to hear this. Go ahead. I was hurt pretty bad that day. That day was serious, and I didn't know where to put that. What happened that day? Nobody heard me. Nobody heard me when I said it. So I didn't know where to put the message no more. So I just held it in my mouth. I just shut it up in my mouth because nobody heard me that day. It was hard. Nobody heard me that day. Nobody.
So you stopped talking after that. And
Yeah, I stopped talking for a long time. I don't know how long I stopped talking, but I learned some lessons. It's funny how God will use a thing to teach you some lessons,
what do you think you learned?
How big the message is. I learned how big the message is because, see, before that I was just trying to tell people the message, you know what I mean? I was trying to tell everybody else what the message was, and it's like he taught me how serious the message was, how whole the message was, that the message just wasn't for other people, but it was for me too.
These are bad times. For someone that deals with time, I can definitely say the vibration of things right now are very low, and a lot of anger and a lot of hurt is out there and a lot of frustration. I don't think anyone is satisfied with life at this point.
People fear losing their position in society. People fear losing their privileges. No one wants to be at the figurative bottom. As long as you can push someone else beneath you, or as long as you can, treat someone as if they're less than you, as long as you don't realize someone's humanity, or you don't recognize someone's humanity, that makes those kinds of things much more likely to happen. The TV can be extremely toxic. I personally don't own one, but every now and then if I go to a friend's house, they may have the TV on. And as a matter of fact, last week was the first time I watched TV in probably a couple of months. And just the sheer amount of commercials. I mean, even watching the commercials, they try to influence you to buy, as if what you have isn't enough, as if what you have is already insufficient, and if you don't buy what they're selling you, that you're insufficient.
People believe that no music can be played directly on beats, so there is this instrument that's supposed to keep time. And some people love it, some people disagree with it, but time is infinite. Time will always be there, and you can't get around that. There are many metronomes in the world. You can recognize the metronomes by the way they are able to join people together, and how people follow and adapt to what they're doing, and how people take their message and spread it to other people. That's how you can recognize a metronome.
People have used time to really manipulate history, and have used it to paint a picture of human progress in history that excludes most people, particularly people of color, and how they have contributed to where we stand right now. And so people have used time to manipulate and to put forth this idea of progress that is very much elusive, and again excludes people and breaks them down into these categories that really are not appropriate and necessary.
It's about self-indulgence, and most people who live in this world don't realize how selfish they are. They don't realize that their selfishness severely impacts people in other galaxies. They think that they're the only planet. They think they're the only ones who exist, and all of the issues that they have now are very reflective of that. There's a lot more equity on other planets. Like everyone has certain roles or functions in the society, but each role and each function is seen as being important. Like here on Earth, people think that the fast food workers who walked out, like they went on strike because they want to increase the minimum wage, a lot of people look at those people as being less than, like they have no right to ask for a livable wage when they provide such an important service. But there's no such thing as that in other galaxies. Like you may have the equivalent of the fast food worker, but their work is just as valued as the doctor or the teacher or the lawyer. So that's a big difference. Consumption is literally killing people who live on Earth. If people on Earth worked together more, if there's more of a community effort, then that would not only help reduce waste, but that would also help with just general community relationships and resources. If people depended on each other more instead of trying to always do their own thing, that would really help Earth. Am I a communist? No, I'm not a communist, I'm an alien.
I consider myself an earthling, I'm a human being, and I don't identify with anything specifically. I am very informed of the races that make this body, but if I wanted to be recognized for everything that I am, I would want to be recognized as a human being. It affects me a great deal. I know what the world sees me as, and I'm not ignorant to that fact, regardless of how I hold myself. I believe that things will change. I believe the time will change. And I believe there'll be a time where we'll all have to stick together, and we won't be able to, barricade ourselves beyond race, and it's going to take the human race in order to make it.
My friend Robert one day, he said that he thought I was Puerto Rican. I said, no, I'm black. I'm African American. He was like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah. He was like, I can tell you Puerto Rican because of your skin color. Like, and I told him that just because of my skin color, like the way how it's light, doesn't mean that I had to be Puerto Rican. So I told him that I'm African American, just like a light black. Just like it's white. And some people say I'm mixed, but I say that I'm really black, but I'm just like a light one.
Eventually, Earthlings may travel to other planets, but they tend to be so arrogant and think they know everything. I don't know how long they would survive. Earth is a joke to other galaxies.
There's a way that we will be able to touch everybody through music and through love and through culture and through how we speak and carry ourselves. I believe that there will be no major kingdom or home to come home to.
It's beautiful. And the thing is, because mass media now, we see much more, but nothing has changed since the civilization of man trying to control whatever he needed. So nothing has changed. We just see it more. It's in our faces more. But the world is still beautiful, you know? Like I like sunflowers. You can smell the sunflowers. We still have water, even though it's, you know, not a lot of minerals in there. We're drinking dead water, but it's still water. It could be worse. You know, you wake up with your loved one, you know, and you can always change. Things don't have to be the same. They change. And if we embrace change, we embrace what is, because the truth is in the moment.
What do you think of the state of our world today?
It's great. I mean, hey, we got technology. We walk around with computers on our pocket. We can look up anything we want. Like, I remember when I was younger, you know, I had to go to the library and look up stuff. I ain't got to do any of that. I could just go to my phone right now and hit Google, and I know everything that's happening. Everything. You know, it's like magic, just like me.
So you don't think that's a bad thing?
No, not at all. I mean, it's actually better because, like I said, now you don't even have to think. All you have to do is say something. You ain't even got to type. You could just say it, and it'll just, like, technology nowadays will just take you wherever you need to go. To see any picture, you can go to any part of the world, go to space, wherever you want to go. TV's great. Yeah, I mean, you got these reality shows on right now. You got, what is it, Basketball Wives and all these different people on there that's beating each other up. What more do you need? I love turning on the TV to see somebody getting socked. I love it. I mean, I don't like being bored. That's why I'm a magic man. That's why they call me Magic Joe. Oh man, I think our future is going on the right path. Like, I can't wait for the future. I mean, if we can do these things right now, imagine in the future. Imagine 10 years from now what we'll be able to do.
I need y'all to know, like, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, that God loves you right now, right where you are, right now. You just need to know that right now. I feel like if people would just take the message, just hold on to that, just hold on to it. The things that we are doing to destroy ourselves and destroy other people, we wouldn't do that anymore.
I would say my favorite thing to do was like have fun with my family, just like have family time, go out, watch a movie or something. I just love hugs and stuff like that. Feeling warm and feeling like my family really cares about me a lot. Seeing stuff better, like the world nice and clean, like the grass for kids and family to run on, and the trees for nature, fruit, bushes, houses, and because I want to make the world a better place and donate some money, because the people who are on the streets and don't have a home, I would like to be a hero for the world.
We're all metronomes, and I believe that there are, you know, your drum majors out there that help you follow a beat and recognize that beat and that flair that you have within yourselves. And we're all special. We all have that rhythm. We're all connected and we all need to work here and be here together. The world will be ours. I know this to be true. I've looked into the eyes of our babies and they're stronger than we are.